The sun scorched Lagos like it held a grudge. On Broad Street, where ambition met chaos, Ifeoma Ife Chikere stormed out of a boardroom at Grand Logistics. Her jaw was clenched, her silk blouse clung to her back, and her phone buzzed with one more crisis. A shipment delay from Cotonou, again. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She walked, straight to Elysium Bar, a rooftop lounge in Victoria Island, with velvet cushions, dark lighting, and music low enough to let regrets speak. At the bar, she ordered Chapman, extra ice. Her throat burned from the day, and from something else she couldn't name. Minutes passed. The room swirled. Kola Badaiki, leaning by the corner in a simple linen shirt and quiet shoes, noticed her head dip. Then her body followed. She collapsed. He caught her just before her skull hit marble. Within minutes, he had her in the back of a Bolt headed to Lekki Phase 1. His company's staff flat was nearby, a quiet place, with blackout curtains and cold Zobo in the fridge. When she came to, Ife found a mug of warm honey water by her bed. Kola sat at a distance. "You were drugged," he said gently. "I saw a guy slip something in your drink. Then he vanished." Ife blinked. Her mind spun. "Was it Bibi?" she muttered. Her rival at work, Bisola Adebayo, had motives, ambition, history. Kola didn't answer. He just watched her, too intently. By dawn, Ife was back in her apartment in Surulere, the events of the night a blur wrapped in confusion. Her legs still wobbled as she walked into Grand Logistics the next morning. Heads turned, conversations paused, whispers filled the hallways like smoke. She climbed the stairs to her office, ignoring the stairs. As she reached her door, Bisola Bibi Adebayo leaned against the wall in a power suit, sipping coffee like it was a victory toast. "Rough night?" Bibi asked with a knowing smirk. "You look fragile." Ife didn't blink. "And you look threatened." Inside her office, she locked the door and exhaled. Moments later, a message popped up on her screen. "See me immediately. Chief Ikenna Okoye, the MD." She walked into his office, back straight. "You've been through a lot," Chief Okoye began, his voice warm but rehearsed. "Take a few days off. Regain your strength." Ife knew this wasn't care. It was strategy. They were isolating her, softly pushing her out before the quarterly review. Later that evening, a knock at her office door startled her. It was Kola. "I found something," he said, holding a brown folder. Inside, rerouted shipment documents under Ife's name, forged signature, altered supplier code, all linked to Apex Transit. "This could destroy you," Kola said. Ife's hands trembled. "Bibi, this reeks of her old firm." Kola hesitated. "The man at Elysium. I recognized him. Apex Transit's ex-security." Ife's heart pounded. "And why are you helping me?" Kola looked away. "Because I'm not who you think I am." Ife stared at Kola like he'd spoken in code. "What do you mean you're not who I think you are?" Kola exhaled, then quietly shut her office door. "I'm Kola Badaiki, son of Chief Basil Badaiki, founder of Dominion Warehousing." Ife's breath caught. "I was planted here months ago to assess merger potential. My father believed Grand Logistics might be a partner, or a threat." "So I was a case study?" she asked, voice cold. "At first, yes," Kola admitted, "but I didn't expect to find someone like you. Sharp, unshakable." Ife folded her arms. "Flattery won't fix this." That night, after the last staff had gone, they remained, silent allies in a war neither fully understood. Kola pulled up internal files. Ife traced routes. Patterns emerged. 3 fake supplier deals, all using her signature. Orders rerouted to Apex transit warehouses. Payments cleared faster than protocol allowed. "It's a setup," she whispered. "They wanted me out." And it almost worked. By midnight, they were still at it. Logs, timestamps, staff rosters. Kola sat slouched on the office couch, eyes heavy. Ify glanced at him. He looked nothing like the men she was used to. No bravado, no noise. Just quiet strength. "You should go," she said softly. "I'll stay till you get home." They didn't say more. The silence between them spoke of something raw, new, and dangerous. Somewhere in the dark corridors of the building, a phone camera clicked. Unseen eyes were watching and plotting. 2 days later, Kola suggested a distraction. "Come with me," he said, pulling up in a discreet SUV. "Dominion just opened a cold storage unit in Ikeya Industrial Zone. Thought you'd want to see what a proper logistics chain looks like." Ify hesitated, but anything was better than the poisonous tension at Grand Logistics. She climbed in. The facility loomed grey and humming, chilled air rolling from the loading docks. Inside, cold bit at her fingertips. They entered one of the main units, a sterile, gleaming room filled with stacked crates and silent metal shelves. Then clang! The door slammed shut. Ify spun. "Is this a joke?" Kola's face went pale. "That wasn't me." She rushed to the door. No handle, no signal. The temperature dropped. Fast. "They trapped us," she whispered. "This was planned." Kola shed his coat and wrapped it around her. "It's Bibi. She's not just framing you, she wants you gone. For good." They huddled behind a crate, the cold seeping into their bones. Ify's teeth chattered, but her eyes held fire. "You saved me twice," she whispered. "Why?" Kola looked at her, eyes soft, voice low. "Because I see you, Ify. Not just what you fight against, but what you're building." She didn't answer. She couldn't. In the frozen silence, their foreheads touched. No kiss. Just a fierce, unspoken loyalty forged in the dark. At 5 a.m., a Dominion staffer found them, frostbitten, shaking, alive. But by noon, the office gossip had exploded. They spent the night together. And Bibi? She was already spinning the story. By midday, Ify sat across from HR eyes, blank, back straight. "You're being placed on suspension pending investigation," the head of HR said flatly, "due to misconduct, reputational damage, and allegations of fraud." No room for debate, no interest in truth. Outside, whispers curled through the halls like smoke. She seduced the Dominion air. She forged those contracts. She's finished. But Ify wasn't finished. She was just getting started. That same afternoon, the polished glass doors of Grand Logistics swung open. Kola Badaiki, now very publicly the son of Chief Basil Badaiki, stepped into the boardroom. He carried himself like Lagos rain, quiet but never soft. "If Ifeoma Chikere is not reinstated immediately," he said, "Dominion Warehousing will terminate all current and future supply contracts with this company." Gasps, a cough, a power outage of silence. Chief Ikina Okoye paled. Bibi choked on her water. By the next morning, Ify returned to work, not as a woman crawling back, but as a storm walking forward. She wore a navy suit, red lipstick, and no apologies. As she passed Bibi's desk, she smiled. "I hope you enjoyed your little coup," she said. "Now let's get back to work." In that moment, the office bent. The Queen wasn't just standing. She was ruling. But not everyone was celebrating. That night, back in Ikoyi, Chief Basil cornered his son. "She's not your equal. he said coldly. "You will marry into the Daniels family. That was always the plan." Kola's voice didn't waver. "Then make new plans." The game had changed. And Ify? She wasn't playing defense anymore. Ify sat at her desk, flame-hot headlines still echoing in her ears. Dominion air brakes rank for suspended executive. Boardroom romance or corporate sabotage. She hated the noise, hated the implication that her power came from his name, not her grit. Worse, someone was leaking. Strategic, surgical rumors designed to erode her credibility. Fake chats, doctored emails. Then came the low blow, an anonymous post online accusing her of sleeping her way to the top. Ify was no stranger to battles, but this was war. That evening, she got a text. "Come alone. Bourdillon, 7 p.m. It was Chief Basil. She arrived at the mansion, high gates, tight security, cool Zobo in a handcrafted glass. "Let's speak woman to man," the chief said. "What do you want with my son?" Ify met his stare. "Nothing that concerns you. Kola makes his own choices." He laughed, a short, bitter sound. "You think power is romantic? You think love wins wars? Pride is expensive, madam. Don't be the one to pay." She stood to leave. "Also, congratulations," he said. "You're pregnant." The words hit like thunder. "What?" "We monitor our own. You've been to the hospital twice this week. You're carrying my grandchild. Whether you like it or not, you're now part of this family." Ify stormed out, mind racing. She hadn't even told Kola. Hours later, she stood at his door in Lekki. He opened it. She didn't wait. "I'm pregnant." Kola blinked, then smiled softly. "I knew it." She hesitated. "This changes everything." "No," he said, pulling her in. "This changes nothing." Weeks passed. Ify worked quietly, pregnancy hidden beneath tailored blazers and tenacity. Kola resigned from Dominion, handing over all family ties. Together, they laid plans for something new, Corkle Nigeria, a cold chain startup that would shake the industry. But Bibi wasn't done. At Grand Logistics' annual shareholders' meeting, she made her final move. The hall was packed press, partners, shareholders in flowing agbadas and ankara. Bibi, in a crisp white suit, walked to the podium with the calm of a woman holding a loaded gun. "Before we begin," she said, clicking her remote, "I'd like to present evidence of ongoing misconduct by Ifeoma Chikere." Slides appeared, spreadsheets, tampered audits, emails falsely linking Ify to embezzled funds and supplier bribes. Gasps echoed. Ify froze. Even Kola's face tensed. Then he stood. "That data is fake," he said, "and I can prove it." He turned to the big screen. CCTV footage rolled, grainy but clear. Bibi after hours, entering the finance office, plugging in a flash drive, editing files on a company laptop. The room held its breath. Security moved. Before they reached her, Ify stepped forward, heels echoing like gunshots. "You tried to bury me with lies," she said to Bibi, "but you forgot I always dig deeper." The crowd erupted. Bibi was escorted out, her reign reduced to whispers and shame. Ify turned to the board. "This company has let office politics poison progress. No more. Grand Logistics must be built on truth, or it will collapse under its own weight." Applause thundered. She hadn't just survived. She had conquered. In the months that followed, Lagos buzzed with a new name, Corkle Nigeria, built by Ifeoma Chikere and Kola Badaiki. It promised cleaner contracts, smarter logistics, and a future where integrity moved faster than freight. They worked like fire and steel. Ify managed supplier deals and staffing, while quietly navigating her pregnancy. Kola handled investors, media, and, more delicately, his father. But Ivy kept their relationship private. Let the world watch her win without excuses. No one would say she was carried. One afternoon, Kola found her asleep at a desk, head on spreadsheets, a contract half signed beneath her fingers. He draped a scarf over her shoulders, kissed her forehead, and whispered, "Rest. I've got you." She stirred, murmured, "Just 5 minutes." He smiled, "Take 10. And so they built, one sleepless night, one clean deal, one stubborn heartbeat at a time. Months later, inside a sunlit suite in Abuja, Ife gave birth to a baby girl. They named her Dapo after her late father. Her cry was strong, her grip stronger. At Korkor's national launch gala, the high and mighty gathered. Under fairy lights and champagne flutes, Ife stood in a gold gown, radiant. Kola held Dapo, smiling with quiet pride. Then, to everyone's shock, Chief Basil Badaiki stepped forward, lifted his granddaughter in his arms, and turned to Ife. "I was wrong about you," he said. "This child, this legacy, you've made us proud." Later that night, beneath the stars, Kola whispered, "Remember when we met?" "I was collapsing," Ife said. "You offered me honey water." "No," he smiled. "I offered you the honey water." They laughed, full and free. Their story wasn't perfect, but it was real. And this time, they were writing the rules.